morning, YouTubers. Buenos días. Aquí el Ángel Galvez, a.k.a. Crypto Keeper, el gallito de la sierra. If you're like me, just a regular person who gets up every morning, goes to work, clocks in, clocks out, goes home, has dinner with the familia, take a little walk around the neighborhood, go to sleep, wake up to the song of a crowing rooster, then you're just like me. And that was the motivation of why I got into cryptocurrency. Because I made the mistake of not going with my instinct and my gut feeling back in the 1990s when the dot-com boom was happening. I missed it. Then when companies that were aiming to be number one, like Google, like Apple, like some of these publicly traded companies, I had the opportunity again to get in early on some of these companies, and I didn't. I missed the opportunity because I got talked out of it. Oh, if you invest in Google, olvídate, tu dinero se va a ir a la basura, esta compañía va a caer. Amazon, I had the opportunity to get in early. Oh, but if you go to Amazon, all these naysayers, man, all these naysayers who had no money to begin with, giving me advice about my money, telling me what was going to happen to my money. And it took me a while to understand why. Why do these people talk like that? Why is this their normal language? You know why? Because they are broke. They got nothing good going for them. And that was the main reason why they would speak that way. They couldn't stand someone else coming up. Whether they believed that you would come up or not, they just couldn't stand to hear the notion that you had some money and that you had extra money to make investments like that. That is the bottom line. And it's not their fault. They can be whoever they want to be. It's my fault for listening. So the first thing I did is I cut all of that fat out of my life. Fuera. Corté toda la grasa. Como cuando cortas las tripitas para comer un taquito de tripita frita. Like that. Boom, 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 boom. Chopped it. Fuera. Dije, no más. No más voy a tener a alguien que me diga a mí cómo invertirme dinero. Right? So, hey, some of them are not willing to listen. But I was listening to the wrong advice. And that's my fault. Not their fault. That's my fault. For allowing to get earfuls of toxic poison advice drain down my throat into the depths of my heart and convince me and influence me not to do it, right? No more. So I lost the opportunity of the .com because I was very young then, and you know, I could have threw a couple $1,000 and I was planning to, and I didn't. And oh well, that's all gone. Then Amazon, Apple, and Google were other opportunities for me. And I had, at that time, a little over $15,000. And I was willing to put half of it in. And I started just, you know, like we always do, right? We are human beings. It is natural for us to share our great ideas, to share our intuitions, to share our desires with other people, especially people that we confide in and especially people that we trust. Esas personas que nosotros le tenemos la confianza y les tenemos un gran respeto, es común que quiéramos nosotros informarles de nuestras ideas, right? It's natural. It's okay. That's just what we do. We're human beings. We're not perros. Okay? No somos gatas. No somos animales. Bueno, somos animales, pero de otro tipo de animal. Right? So, I did that. And I got convinced not to. Right? If a friend comes to me and confides in me and asks me, or not asks, but shares an opinion with me or an idea or something that they want to do, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm not going to make them feel like crap about it. The second thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to listen. Sometimes they just want us to listen. They are not asking for your feedback. They're not asking for your opinion. They're not asking for your advice. They just want you to listen. And by listening and saying nothing back might be the very one thing that they need to pull the trigger. That's it. To make the move. To jump into the water. Whether it's cold or hot or whatever. That's all they need. I didn't get that, unfortunately. Conmigo no me dieron eso. So I had to just talk about that, because some of you may be at that stage. You've talked to your loved ones, you've talked to your friends, you've talked to your cousins, you've talked to your tío, your tía, your primo, your prima, your amigo, your amiga, your co-worker. You've talked to everybody you confide in about cryptocurrency investing, and they're telling you you're crazy. I know they're telling you you're crazy because a lot of them, if you're like me, a lot of my friends, a lot of my co-workers, a lot of my colleagues, a lot of my acquaintances, they don't know and they don't own any crypto, except a very few. And I've talked about those very few in my circle. And these very few are very well off like I am. And so I'm going to not cut those out of my life, because we speak the same language, right? So, why do I tell you all of this? Because you need to hear it. And you need not to feel beaten down. And you need not to feel like you can't do it. You could. And you will, I hope. Because here's the reason of why I feel you should jump in to crypto. Okay? Don't jump in a la brava. Don't join the cryptocurrency world, or as I tend to refer to it, don't join the crypto cartel. ¿Ah? Yo soy parte del cartel de Cardano. ¿Ok? ¿Cómo que es parte del cartel de Cardano? Porque yo soy dueño de Cardano cryptocurrency. So I'm part of that cartel. And I'm not saying don't join us. I'm not saying go out there and buy. Don't misconstrue my words. What I'm saying is do your research. Éntrale con ganas de estudiar. Investiga. Research. Search everything there is to know about the one perhaps the one thing about cryptocurrency that attracts you. I'm all about technology. I'm all about projects that are going to revolutionize the world, because those are game changers to me. So I'm invested in those kinds of cryptocurrencies. I'm not invested in Bitcoin. I'm not saying that Bitcoin is good or bad. It's not for me. I'm not invested in Solana. I'm not invested in Dogecoin. I'm not invested in Shiba Inu. I'm not invested in a lot of these coins that other people are heavily invested in. I'm not saying they're bad. All I'm saying is they're not for me, because I've done my research. I'm invested only in a very few selected cryptocurrencies that I feel are going to change the world. And those that are going to change the world are those that are going to have the maximum impact and are going to realize the maximum value for their coins. Okay? Those are the kinds I'm in. Game changers. So what does that mean? Well, what does that look like to you? Well, let's say you were ready. Right now, Cardano is trading at $2.45. Okay? It's been trading at $2.45 and $2.38 for the last 5 days. If you were to buy $1,000 worth of Cardano, $1,000 divided by 245, let's just say 245, is roughly 408 Cardano coins, right? More or less. I'm just kind of doing some rough numbers. 408 or 406, I don't know. But it's a little over 400. You would realize 400 Cardano coins. Cardano has the potential to be worth, with what Cardano is aiming to solve and do, Cardano Cardano could be worth $100 easy. $100 per coin. Okay? $100 per coin. Do the math. You own 400 that you bought at $2.45. And now each coin is worth $100. Your $1,000 investment is now worth a little over $40,000. Your $1,000 investment is worth over $40,000 at $100 a coin. Okay? That is big money. Big money. You might think, well, my $1,000 investment, $40,000. Yeah. Where are you going to get those kind of returns? There's nothing out there, man, unless you're selling drugs, and I wouldn't recommend going that route. I strongly wouldn't recommend going that route. I am against advising people about breaking the law or doing something illegal, or just doing something morally wrong. Now, you're not going to realize those kinds of gains in anything else legally. Cryptocurrency is a legal way of investing your money. There's nothing in the law that's saying you cannot invest, right? They're trying to work all of that out right now. El Senado had a meeting. I think it was yesterday, the day before that. And I follow all of their hearings, because right now the elephant in the room in the Senate, it's not homelessness. And you would think it would be homelessness, the homeless issues, because we all have that issue and you cannot ignore it. But it's not even that. It should be, but it's not. You know what it is? Cryptocurrency. You know what comes up? Cryptocurrency. You know why it comes up? Because they haven't defined the regulation, and the United States doesn't want to stay behind this, because there's a lot of global pressure. It's called globonomics, right? The economic global power. Who has it? Well, not for long. The United States of America. Because they're staying behind this. They need to work together to get it done expediently. Because time is ticking. Other countries are not waiting for the U.S. to make moves. They're making moves on their own now. And they all want what everybody wants is position of power. And that is something the government doesn't like to hand over at all, right? We go to war because of that. So whoever has the most control in terms of ally, not control over it, but an ally, a partner, a collaborator of the cryptocurrency, you could call it cartel now. Those are going to be the governments that are going to be in power. Because technology does that for you as a government. It gives you the reins, the economic power that you need to stay on top. So I'm not going to go into all of that, but I just wanted to break that down, that the Senate has not reached a really consensus on the regulation piece of it. But here's a very good, if you read in between the lines of what they're saying back and forth. I think it was Senator Lumi and Gary Gensler, the Security Exchange Commission. They were having a conversation, and if you listen very carefully to how they talk to each other, here's what the Chief Secretary Exchange Commissioner said. He said, if you want to change the law as a Senate, you can do that. So that, I think, is what's going to come. Because the Howey test, which is one of the laws, one of the tests they use to define whether something is a security or a commodity or an asset. They use that test for cryptocurrencies, and the problem that the Security Exchange Commission is having is that they view the majority of the cryptocurrency as securities, and that's why they're coming hard on them, and they're not necessarily securities. And so, you know, you got the Howey's test, which is something that was like enacted back in the 30s. And then you got another, I can't remember what it is, but in the 90s, or no, in the 70s, I think, maybe 90s, 70s or 90s. I haven't really looked into this one. There's another, like, there's another type of test. But, I mean, you're talking before cryptocurrency was even cryptocurrency, right? So we're dealing with a whole new technology that is revolutionizing everything. And there is no laws around cryptocurrencies, right? This is all new. So like anything new, I think you need to just sit down as a senator, as a legal authority, and hash this out to develop some really good positive regulation on cryptocurrency. We'll all be fine. So I think they need to do that. I think that's going to be the way they solve this, rather than using old systems. But that's neither here or there. The point of this video was to speak to those who felt the way I felt when I first started the video about those examples I gave. Is that if you're like me and you're the type of person that is tired of waking up at 8 in the morning, or 5 in the morning, I should say, clocking in and out of work, same mundane routine every single day for the next 45 to 50 years, right? Because people don't work 20, 25 years and retire no more. That is gone, right? That is gone. Inflation is gonna continue, and it's going to continue to put us in a state of poverty. And if you're the person like me who I don't foresee myself a broke 80-year-old man working just to try to still survive in this world. Because that is what I see now. You're either homeless, right? You're either homeless, walking the street, doing what you do. Triste, amigo, triste. Or you're 68, 74 years old, 79 years old, and you're still working. You're still working to try to make a living, right? Healthcare is all the way up the yin yang. Healthcare costs. We ain't getting better, right? The only way you can live longer is by going to the doctor every other day. And what does that do? That just mounts up the bills. So, my answer to my financial freedom is I'm not missing this opportunity. The train is still relatively moving at a slow pace. At a slow pace. But there's going to come a time where the train has left the station and everyone is running to the station to jump on. And only very few are going to be able to grab onto the rails and go with the train. I'm just using that as a metaphor that when the prices of cryptocurrency start to travel at a faster pace upward, it's going to be more difficult. Your $1,000 investment ain't going to buy you 400 ADA anymore. Your $1,000 investment is going to buy you 40 ADA. Think about it. 400 ADA, now it's going to buy you 40 ADA. 40 Cardano. It might buy you 20 Polymatic. It might buy you 100 AMP tokens. You know, all I'm saying is the investment you make now versus that same investment, and you take your time, and 3 years from now, you decide, I'm going to jump into crypto. You're going to be telling yourself, dang, I should have looked into this in 2020 and 2019 and 2018. But if you haven't, you haven't. Now is the time. I keep on saying 2021 to 2022, there's going to be a small window of opportunity. In 2022, there's going to be a small window of opportunity for all of the projects and protocols and DEXs and dApps and you name it. Small window of opportunity with all of the new stuff that's going to be built on Cardano. Check it out. Check it out. Look into Cardano. Cardano's website offers everything that's being built on them. There's hundreds of companies building on Cardano. And I personally like a few of them. And I'm going to invest heavy in a few of them. Sunday Swap is one of those I'm going to invest in. There's a few others. Ergo is a good one. Ergo's coming over to Cardano. And long story short, the small window is this year and toward the entry of next year. After that, that's it. There's no more. There always will be new cryptocurrency projects building. But they're going to use the powerhouses. And who are going to be the powerhouses? Cardano, Ethereum, maybe Solana. But Solana is going through some problems right now. And that's why I will put all of my faith, money, and effort into Cardano. Now, it's going to take a little while. I would say 1 year. In 1 year, Cardano, it just launched smart contracts. In 1 year, it's going to prove its efficacy. Okay, that's a big word right there, carnal. That's a big word. The efficacy of Cardano is going to take 1 year to prove. Because Solano, for example, was trading at like $20. Over the last month and a half, it went to $170. De $20 a $170. Because everybody was moving to Solano. I don't tend to jump that quick. Because look at what happened. Solano experienced congestion in their system, and as a result of that congestion, se quebró. Solano's blockchain broke, meaning something happened with the network and everything froze. It is the worst experience you can experience when you're doing something on your computer y de repente, oh, when I used to type those 50-page essay papers and I didn't save it y de repente something got corrupt, I was crying, carnal. Crying like a little baby right there. Dame lechita. Llorando, llorando. Well, that's what happened to all the Solano people. They're crying right now. ¿Qué pasó right here? I lost my feria. I lost this. They still don't know all of the repercussions that happened with the cracking of Solano, which is why if it's a blockchain, I stay away from it. I stay away from it only for that reason, because I'm all in on Cardano. I think Cardano has I think Cardano has gone above and beyond to show its cartel members like me that the peer reviews that they've done, that the work that has gone into building this system and coding it and all of that is not going to experience major hiccups like that. It's going to experience hiccups. They all do, but not major, not devastating, not where the price of your investment is at risk of becoming nothing. That's what I'm careful on. And that's why I don't jump into everything. Okay. Ay, con eso los dejo. Muchas gracias. Thank you to all of you who have subscribed. Thank you for helping out my channel. Hope you like the content. Aquí el gallito de la sierra checking out. Kikiriki.